All right, I'm gonna try not to have no cuts in this video, and I'm gonna just try and make it one quick video. This is 17 minutes, so it's gonna be really long. But maybe I'll cut it down, maybe I won't. I don't know. We're gonna react to this. This is Lil Wayne talks about his. I saw the clip on Instagram, so that's the only part I've seen where whatever he posted on Instagram, where he talks about his suicide attempt that he also talked about on the song Let It All Work Out. Man, that was deep. So, let's just get into it because it looks like he's bringing light to mental health, and he's talking about it, which is important, which is what a lot of people have been doing. Some of it seems fake, some of it is like real. So, we just gonna react to this. Let's get it. And I'll skip around. But this video is definitely gonna be at least 17 minutes, just due to the fact that obviously I'm gonna be putting in my own 2 cents throughout the video.
How I know I had mental health problems was I pulled the trigger. You actually pulled the trigger? Most of y'all know this series is a dialogue around race, a much needed dialogue. But there are a lot of conversations that also need to be had around mental health. Now, Simone Biles and Naomi Osaka, young global superstars, they brought this conversation to the world stage at the most recent Olympic Games. So I'm privileged to be joined by someone who knows all there is to know about being a young global superstar, 5-time Grammy Award winner. But for the sake of this conversation, just a man who struggled with mental health. Wayne.
And by the way, that Simone Biles backlash is out of pocket. It doesn't make any sense. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. The way y'all talked about her was not okay. Y'all was, why is my eye? Whatever, who cares? What the hell? Anyways, the way y'all talked about her and no, none of that backlash was necessary.
What's up, bro? What up, man? How you doing?
All good. All
Thank
good.
you.
Man, the honor and the pleasure and the privilege is mine. I got to preface with this because what they don't know is that we don't actually have a relationship, a long-standing relationship. I know you watched the sports show, but then I got a text less than a week ago from you, and you like, hey, let me know when you have 5 minutes. I call you, and you said I wanted to talk. Why you want to be here today?
Figuring I can help, hoping I can help anyone else out there who's dealing with any mental health problems by just, like you said earlier, by being vulnerable. But to me, I look at it by being brave and stepping up.
When did you check the...
So he said some people look at it as being vulnerable, but to me, I look at it as being brave. And what I think he means by that is because people look at it as the way they look at it, the way they stigmatize it, all that, they think it's you're being weird, or you're being a pussy or whatever. And so it causes you not to come out of the closet, for lack of a better term, about these mental health problems. And he's saying, well, sure, but so I look at it as kind of being brave too.
Temperature of yourself. When did you realize, you know what?
And stepping up.
When did you check the temperature of yourself? When did you realize, you know what? I might have some mental health issues that I have to work through.
Oh, I realized that at a very young age.
When would you say they started? 13, 14?
Young, yeah, as a kid, around 10. Feeling like you, when I was told that I couldn't have what I wanted, what I dreamed of, and what I desired, and that was to rap. I was willing to die for it.
And that's something a lot of people go through, is just people telling them that you can't do blah blah blah, you shouldn't do blah blah blah. Every single person has experienced that, and it gets to every single person. I'm not saying, oh, every person's experienced that, so it doesn't matter. That's the opposite of what I'm saying. It does matter, because it actually still gets to you, and it stops you from doing certain things that, if you look back when you're older, you might realize, if I actually put my heart and soul into it at that age, there's literally no way I wouldn't be super successful at it to this day, So I got that myself with certain things. I'm not going to talk about it right now, but let's keep it moving.
So many people, they don't know how to classify it. Mental health can play itself out, as you know better than I, as physical pain. It can play itself out as body aches. The world hasn't properly responded to mental health. So what was the moment that you realized, oh no, this is a mental health issue?
Once my thoughts got radical and got, to where you got to stop yourself and stop impulsing and say, what did you just think again? Or even if you cried yourself to sleep with that thought on your mind and wake up the next day and be like, I cannot believe I was thinking like that.
Thoughts like what?
That's crazy, bro. That's how you know Wayne is real. Like, he literally just said, like, he basically just admitted he's cried himself to sleep. So a lot of people look at Wayne like, you wouldn't expect him to say something like that. No, but he's just being real. Like, he's just saying, like, he's really just opening this up and, like, having this dialogue, like, so that he can say, like, this is real shit that people go through, like, no matter what it is, depression, anxiety, mental or emotional abuse, just whatever it is, like, people go through stuff. You can be, I don't know if he's saying he still goes through it right now, but he probably does, and you can still be the most successful person of all time and have days or nights or just have depression for no reason, because that's how it works. That's how depression is. There doesn't have to be a reason for it. It just comes out of nowhere and it sucks. Look at FouseyTube, for example. He, the whole July 15th thing, like, he really just went like crazy out of nowhere. And then after that, he went through this major depression, and now he's coming back up success-wise. Not like, I hope that he's in a clear, flat state, because you don't want to see him way up here, and you don't want to see way down here either, because those are both bad signs, and anyone who's gone through it knows what I'm talking about.
Thoughts like killing yourself. Believe I was thinking like that.
Thoughts like what?
Thoughts like killing yourself.
You thought about killing yourself?
Well, actually, when I was 12 years old, school year was kind of ending. So what the school was doing.
So he has actually killed himself. Basically, like, he didn't die, but he basically killed himself. Like, he basically went through all the actions that it would take to kill yourself. It was just unsuccessful. To me, that counts as killing yourself. Like, you did it. Like, just because you failed doesn't mean you, like, so you failed, but you still, like, you killed yourself. Like, you went there. You know what I mean? Now, thankfully, he didn't die, but he really tried to actually kill himself. So, he's about to open up about that. That's what he talked about. The only time he ever talked about it was on the Carter 5, that I know of, was on the Carter 5. No, it is the only time he ever talked about it publicly, was on the Carter 5, Let It All Work Out. If I'm wrong, then he very subtly talked about it somewhere else, but I don't think he did. I think that's the very first time ever. And it went over a lot of people's heads. So
when I was 12 years old, school year was kind of ending. So what the school was doing was they was giving us half days on a Thursday and a Friday. It may have been on Wednesday as well, but what I would
love those half days. We love those half days. Remember them half days? We love them half days. Anyway, let's keep it real serious. My bad.
Days on a Thursday and a Friday. It may have been on Wednesday as well, but what I would do was just tell my mom that I only had a half a day on one of those days. So therefore I stayed out the rest of the whole day, just like it was a full day. She found out. And so when I got home, on that thing, it was that Friday, whatever, I got home, got a phone call from my aunt. It was like, she found out, boy, you about to get your ass kicked, and all that rapping and all that, she about to take that rap folder, she about to throw that shit away, and I was like, wow, so all that had built up to me. So that was a build up. I just listened to my aunt, like, I hear you. Cause she was, she said, boy, you about to get your ass when she get home, your mama take it. So she actually said, she was like, she's taking off. Hung up the phone, thoughts everywhere, thoughts everywhere. Main thought was, I'm gonna show you. Main thought was, I'm gonna show you.
What were you gonna show her?
So I picked up the phone. I called the police. Yes, I knew where she kept her gun. And it was in her bed.
So I'm gonna just stop it right here real quick. Like, Wayne was really going through like some mental health problems for real, because it sounds like what he's saying, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm misinterpreting it, but it sounds like what he's saying is like he almost committed suicide just to show, to prove a point to his mom, because he was mad and probably depressed. Like, you know, when you punish your kids real harsh, like, I guess you don't really know if it's having a deeper effect. I know sometimes when my parents would punish me and they didn't realize it was really harsh, like, it would actually make me depressed for like a few days afterwards or whatever, because I feel like they hated me or whatever. And they didn't really realize that. I kind of just thought about that, but yeah, I don't know. Let's keep watching.
And so I went in the bedroom, grabbed the gun. I already made the phone call. Looked in the mirror, did like that. Of course, it was like, oh no. You know, cause I got a little too scared. That was my head, like, no. But then I said, fuck it. Biggie was on. I'm looking in the
Okay. So I'm pausing right now because this is like the most crucial part. So in the song, he says, found my mama's pistol where she always hide it. Put it to my head, something to my head, and pondered. Then thought about it. No one was home to stop me. So I called my auntie. So that he's saying he put the gun down. But now we know why he decided to go away from his head. Because thank God. Because we would not have a LilWayne. We would not have a LilWayne if he didn't give a fuck for whatever reason about his head being... It freaked him out that his head was going to be all messed up. So thank God that he chose to go for the heart. If he was going to do it at all, thank God he chose to go for the heart, because he didn't die. Thank God. Because if he would have done the head, we all know he would have died. Like, you can live from that, but it's really weird. Like, you're not going to live if you aim the gun like this at your head. Maybe if you like go like this or something, or if people who go like this, you can survive that. I'm not even going to explain how. If you aim the gun like this, you can survive that. Yeah, I'm not even going to explain why or how, because I don't want to encourage or discourage nothing. Like, I don't want people killing themselves, but yeah, you can survive if you go like this, or you can survive if you go like this too. You can survive it all. That's the truth. You can survive it all. But don't do it, though.
But then I said, fuck it. Biggie was on. I'm looking in the mirror, so you could look through the mirror, and the television was behind me, so I was watching the video through the mirror. One More Chance was on. And
One More Chance.
I think Biggie was already.
I'm gonna write that down. I don't think I probably have, but I don't think I've heard that song. I'm gonna make sure. I'm gonna write it down real quick. All right.
Going or something, so I was just looking, and it was like, you know what? Start thinking of something, so I was just looking, and it was like, you was on. And I think Biggie was already gone or something, so I was just looking, and it was like, you know what? Start thinking again, I had to get myself mad and notice that I didn't have to. That's what scared me. How I know I had mental health problems was I pulled the trigger.
You actually pulled the trigger?
Yeah, I pulled the trigger.
Where'd you shoot?
In my chest.
Yo, why is he acting like he don't know that? Like, everyone knows that, right? Am I wrong, or does everybody not know that Lil Wayne shot himself in the heart as a kid? Is that not something that everybody knows? Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm just such a big fan that I just thought everyone knew that, right? I swear to God, dude, I swear to God, everyone knows that. Am I tripping? Everybody knows that, right? Oh shoot, my battery about to die. Fuck.
Didn't feel a thing from my heart, and didn't feel a thing though, so I wasn't going through any pain. It was a shock. I woke up to to the police knocking, and that's what woke me up. Mind you, the walls, the ceilings, and the walls were white like this. So when you're I'm on my back, when you're looking up, my eyes probably were open the whole time. I didn't know. I probably had to click. As a kid, all you remember is you see when you die, you're gonna see the white, and you're gonna have. Well, I thought that was the white. I swear to God, I did. And so then that's when with that knocking woke me up out of that. The knocking, they kept knocking, but then they stopped. And once they stopped knocking, I said, okay, they must have left. It took too long. It took too long for it meaning death. It took too long. I was still just laying there. I didn't feel a thing. I said, shit, I said, I'm here for a reason. Had on like my little school shirt, so therefore it was cotton and we had wood floors. So I'm saying that to say because of the blood was pouring out of my chest so much that it made it easy for me to slide with my shirt and the wood across the floor. I made it all the way there.
Whew, that is crazy, bro. Just imagine that. That's wild.
The energy I had left was to kick the door, and I start hearing them go crazy. Like, someone's in there. So when they start knocking the door, though, I'm right under the door. I'm like, well, shit, they gonna kill me with the door. And so when they knocked the door, that's when I found out, my first time found out what off the hinges or hinges is, because they knocked it off the hinges. And so boom, and they picked it up. They saw me, they as in the cops, they saw me just jump clean over me and went through the house talking about, I found the drugs, I found the gun, I found it. And so I'm doing all that. And so it took a guy named Uncle Bob. And he ran up there. When he got to the top of the steps and saw me there, he refused to even step over me. One of them yelled like, I got the drugs. And that's when he went crazy. He was like, I don't give a fuck about no drugs. He's like, do you not see the baby on the ground? And funny that I kept trying, I was spitting all in his face, blood, everything. All I was trying to tell him was, I'm not a baby. Because he kept, do you not see the fucking baby on the ground with this hole in his chest? He was screaming at him, and it was like, I guess I didn't know he was, so he must have been the sheriff, boss, because they all came out the other rooms like, oh, sorry, boss, we called the ambulance. He's like, I don't give a fuck, do you, like, so he called like one of them names, last name. Your car now. Picked me up, bought me, and just kept telling me some shit like, you're not gonna die on me, you're not gonna die on me the whole time. The whole time, I am trying to tell him I'm not a baby. That's why I told him for 30 minutes straight. And so he got me to the hospital. He brought me there. He never even checked it. He just left me, made sure I was good. I met him years later, but he was like, oh, and I just wanted to say, I'm happy to see that I saved a life that mattered.
What would you say kept you alive that day, in that moment?
God. Plain and simple.
Oh, I thought he was gonna say, I had to let him know I'm not a baby.
Plain and simple.
Break this down for me, because I've never and I couldn't walk a step, let alone a mile in your shoes. Why did you feel the need to be so extreme? For those that are battling mental health issues, it appears that you trying to take your life was really just a cry for help. Mm-hmm. Could you not use your words? Were you tired of using your words? Were your words not going to get the point across?
The words weren't even be able to be said or able to be spoken. My mom, the way she was then, or you don't speak in that, ladies. You don't speak about, you don't tell her your opinion. What? I wish. I'm from one of them families where, your mama kick your ass and straight up, and you don't talk back, and you feel what I feel, and none of that didn't go. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also I had no father. My father wasn't around, so my mom definitely felt that she had to wear the pants, and she had to be the dad and the mom, so she was a little extra on everything. She had to just to make sure she got her point across and make sure I ain't try to run over her. And so, again, words, that was, again, the loneliness. So when you have no one to vent to, no one to get this out to, mm-hmm. You can't bring it to your friends at school. You're still trying to be cool to them. You're not trying to let them know that I got something going on at home. So what I never said was,
And the thing about that anyways is like, they might not know what to know or have anything to say to you, so it's just, I don't know.
I got something going on at home. So what I never said was, so the mom that I knew before that day on my life and everyone's life in here, I have never met or seen or heard that lady again in my life. So I didn't die that day, but somebody was gone from, she's never been that way. So as far as the parents out there, obviously that was an eye-opener for her. And what she decided to do was, I'll let my flower grow.
Got you. So that incident changed her.
Everything changed life for her, I, and our whole family.
Man, well, I appreciate, one, the vulnerability, bro. I appreciate the bravery. I appreciate the transparency. I appreciate the honesty, because I can't imagine how hard that must have been.
Yeah, bro, that's crazy. Hey, shit, my phone's about to die, so I gotta end this video, make sure it saves, and then I gotta charge my phone and come back to it. So, hold up.
Because I can't imagine how hard that must have been.
All right, we back. Yeah, it's charged up now. It's been like an hour or 45 minutes to an hour, and we're at 74% now. I had to charge it up, you know. We can't have it dying in the middle of this video, but let's get it going.
Let's transition down the timeline of your life, because that was 12.
Perfect. We're transitioning. So I just got back into it, so I'm glad we're transitioning. But yeah, he was just telling him, like, it was brave of him to open up about it, because I don't think no one's gonna come up to Wayne and be like, yeah, you're a pussy. You're like, no one's gonna say that to LilWayne. Stop it. So, but it was still brave of him to like overcome that anxiety he probably still had either way, to come out with that and say it. So I see what he's saying, and I agree. I get it. All right, let's get it.
By 18, 19, 20, 21, you were now a mega star. That's when your boy fell in love with your work.
Appreciate that.
As you got more popular, as you got more loved, did the mental health issues go away?
They didn't go away, but they came in a different, obviously they come in a different, in a different way because of the maturity. So of course they're gonna hit different, they're gonna actually hit harder.
How so? Because what can truly hit harder than an individual wanting to take their life?
The thought, now that thought never came. Other than that, man, just being alone all the time. You know, my grandmother raised me, rest in peace, Mercedes Carter. She raised me, so with that said, I always had time to myself. I'm always in the back room somewhere alone with myself, and too much time to think. Too much time to think and too much time to compare.
How could you be that popular but still feel alone?
When I say alone, I mean, again, when those doors close. When the lights cut, after the thank you, you got the homies, then you get to the bus, and then, y'all boys good, blah, 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 whatever, and then them doors close. And there's nobody that, no one, no you. And then again, you create these things, and here again, it's mental health. Because none of these perspectives, or none of these opinions, or decisions, or things you're thinking, or thoughts may be true at all. It's what you're creating here because of your situation.
That's true, but it doesn't mean it's not real. Jordan Peterson says something that, so when you take shrooms or ayahuasca or any hallucinogenic drug, people have these crazy experiences that humble them. And some people say they met God, or they met someone that died and they had a conversation with someone that died. And you would say, well, obviously that's just a hallucination or a figment of your imagination. And a lot of these people will swear to God, they'll say, no, like, that's not what it was. Like, I can tell the difference between a hallucination. They say, like, no, this is real. This is just as real as anything else I've experienced. And so, honestly, I'm not going to lie. I forgot why I brought that up. But I'm sure it'll make sense. I forgot why I brought that up. But yeah. Oh, yeah. No, so the things you create in your head they are real. I mean, why aren't they real? Like, if you're constantly thinking about it, if it affects your emotions, if it affects the way you move, the way you act, or everything about you, then how is it not real? You know what I mean?
And again, so you start to think, well, do anyone actually care? Will it matter when it's all over? Will I matter? And that's always the question. Well, will you matter when it's all over? Will you matter? Not the things you've done, the things you've done for everyone else, but will you actually matter to them, but most of all to you.
At the height of you being a star, what was the lowest point of your career?
Not being able, that's a good question. When I was going through this situation with my record label and they wouldn't allow me to put an album out or put any music out. So when you compare that.
Dude, as an artist, there's no way, like, that's ridiculous. Because that's how they express themselves, right? You express yourself through your art, through, like, and LilWayne, dude, he lives in the studio. Allegedly, everyone says he's in the studio, like, all the time. He says it. He's in the studio all the time. Like, for him, I can only imagine, like, that's like torture. Like, he can make all this music and he can't show nobody. Basically, he can't show his fans. That's who he wants to show. That's who he cares to show. Like, and he can't do that. And like, it was hard for us, but I'm sure it was a billion, trillion, willion, babillion, fulfillion, Sicilian times harder for him, because he's an artist, you know. That's how he would express himself, or does express himself, and that's like, nah, that had to have been terrible.
Put an album out or put any music out. So when you compare that to whatever my mental health problem, my problem was back then, it was because I wasn't being allowed to do this, to be productive and be creative and to feel that I would love to do so.
So as an adult, the lowest point of your career was your label not letting you put music out. How bad did that hurt you? What did that do to you mentally?
My reaction or my actions that I wanted to take was quit. I wanted to retire.
Now, when you were 12, the thought of not being able to do music led to self-harm. But now, when you were closer to what would have been 32, you had a healthier response,
of course,
to not being able to do music.
Yeah.
How or why were you able to have a healthier response?
When I know that this is a dream again, I can never be too greedy. So I started looking at it that way, like, you know what, this is just sign, this is all it is. It's just sign saying that you've done enough, you've been blessed, over blessed, and so, you know what I mean, that's it.
You walked in from the moment we dapped each other up, you were in a good mood. Where are you now with your mental health? Are you happy with where you are?
Before Wayne says anything, I want to say this real quick. It don't matter. Like, if he was in the best mood of all time, Wayne just touched on this. It doesn't matter, because as soon as it's over, like, he was probably excited to see him and talk to him. So when Wayne leaves, it might be like he might go from here to here again. You know, it doesn't matter how happy you seem or how happy you look. You know what I mean? That doesn't matter. You can still be very depressed. So
I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Thank God. And it's only because it's simple.
That's good, Bill. That's good. I'm happy to hear that.
Because of being able to do what I love. And that's be productive and put some music out and help some people put music out and help people along the way. That's what I love. That's who I am. I guess simple cliche. That's who I was born to be.
Mm-hmm. What do you do, bro, on a daily basis? Is there anything outside of music to make sure you stay in check? Is it therapy? Is it meditation? Is it prayer? What do you do to make sure you stay happy with where you are?
I pray every single day. And I think I've said that a zillion times already since we get. I pray a lot. That comes from my grandmother. And she just made me, you're going to pray regardless. And even if you don't know it, you're too young to know what you're praying for, you're going to pray.
What do you wish people knew about mental health?
What I wish they knew is that it's real. That is real. And there is no bar to measure how real. It's real. And so it's so real that if someone even have the guts, the heart, the bravery, whatever, to at least admit that they have, something going on up there that they're not sure about. It's so real that we should only react in the realest way possible. We should remember it's not considered. And if you are a parent of a kid with a mental health problem or something, you think, like I say, even if you think, react with the realest reaction. I ain't saying be like my mom, but all I know is from that day forward, I've never seen or met that lady again. That was the realest reaction she could have gave me.
What would the adult Lil Wayne say to the 12-year-old young man before he tried to pull the trigger and end his life? What would you say to that young man?
I always think about what I would tell him, and the answers always comes out to be the same thing, and it's always a question. And it always is, what if that isn't the wall or the ceiling that you're seeing? What if what if?
Man, well, Wayne, I appreciate the authenticity, bro. I appreciate you being vulnerable enough to share. I appreciate you, like, they don't know, just calling me and saying, hey, I want to talk.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad that I could be the ears to listen to you, man.
Oh, man, I appreciate you, man.
Of course.
For real.
Of course.
And I admire everything you're doing, for real, man.
Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Uncomfortable Conversation.
All right, bro. That was definitely a real one, for sure. I just found out about this uncomfortable conversation thing. I'm going to look into it real quick. But yeah, that was cool. That was cool. That was definitely cool. This video is way too long. I got to end it. I got to just end it. But that was definitely really cool. You know, definitely go watch that video. Like, mental health is real. Thank you, Lil Wayne. Thank you, Lil Wayne, for coming out and saying that and sharing your story in more detail with how it went, bro. And just, yeah, peace out. That's all I don't know what to say. I'm just peace out. Subscribe.